Welcome back to another special edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show. We're going to go through all the update, breaking news, everything around the NHL today, Monday, March 1st, 2021. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back to another special edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show. This is your coach, Coach Frenchy, directly from the booth. Like I said, we're going to go all its fun news around the league. But before we start, I want to remind you, today is Monday, and we did our power ranking NHL, the 31 teams. And if you want to see this, just go to our Facebook page or also on the YouTube channel under the Hockey Nation Live Show. That's where you're going to find our video. And don't forget to subscribe. And when you subscribe on the comments, I'm going to reply to you. And that's how we're going to start the conversation. So I ask you not only click and subscribe, but put in the comments, I subscribe, and I'm going to reach you and talking more about hockey. So, but let's start what happened today in NHL. And the first, we have to go with the schedule of the day. We have 7 games tonight. By the way, Carolina is in Florida, Calgary and Ottawa. The both games start at 7 o'clock. We have only one game at 8 o'clock. Vancouver at Winnipeg. And at 10 o'clock, we have 3 games. Toronto, Edmonton, Minnesota, Vegas, St. Louis, Anaheim. And finally at 10:30, Colorado at San Jose. So we're going to finish late tonight. And I'm going to bring you all the information, the post game, the Florida Panthers first, and then all the post game at every game tonight. And I just want to remind you, that's the way we bring to you every day a couple of videos about the NHL. So don't forget to follow us. And any questions, just reach us. And then before we start, we want to mention to you one more thing. So we have a show Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. With my co-host, Michael DeVillano. Every Tuesday, we bring Greg Minervini from the Florida Panthers talking about the Panthers. So he should be there tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, and talking about what's happening tonight between the Canes and the Panthers. It's 1-0 after the first period for the Carolina Hurricane, a goal and power play of Petchy. So we'll be interested in how the Panthers are going to come back during the game. So what's happening today also? On the waiver list, big news, the Edmonton Oilers claim Alex Stalock for the Minnesota while he was on the waiver list yesterday, and he was claimed by the Oilers. And finally, the Florida have also Brett Connelly on the waiver list yesterday. He was clear, so he went to the Texas squad for the team, honestly. The next one, the 3-star of the night plus the frontline star of the week. Andrei Vasilevsky for the Tampa Bay Lightning have a 3.00, game average, again at 2.50. Of course, every time they have the first star of the week, the team celebrate, a star of the front line. It's Glenda Wright for the Tampa Bay Center Hospital and General Hospital. So congrats to Miss Wright. The second star, Patrick Kane, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points at 4 games. It's amazing weeks, but he's had an amazing, season right now, like the Chicago Blackhawks. Just amazing what he accomplished so far without Jonathan Toews beside him. Finally, Matt Zuccarello for the Minnesota Wild with 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points also in 4 games. And, the Minnesota Wild are right now on the rate of 6 W. So it's pretty amazing what they did so far. Since they came back for the COVID-19, they played 7 games and they are 6-1. So great to see them come back very well. And they are second position right now on the West Division. The next one, just about the milestone happening for the last 2 days. First of all, Patrick Kane, we just mentioned as a second star of the week. He scored his 400 goal yesterday against the Detroit Red Wings and the win of 7-2. So congrats to Mr. Patrick Kane. The next milestone, and this one I love it, is Coach Alain Vigneault got his 700 win regular season as a coach in the in the NHL. So congrats to Alain Vigneault. He was coach before the Montreal, the Vancouver, the New York Rangers, now with the Flyers. So congrats to Alain Vigneault. And finally, the next milestone is happening right now during this game tonight. Captain 16, Alexander Parkov, play his 500 game in NHL. Another great milestone. One of the most amazing player in NHL. Unfortunately, he don't get the credit what he deserves because he's a two-way center, consistency year after year, game after game. Great teammates. The fact I live in Florida, I know him a little bit more about what he does around here. He's just a great person also. So congrats to Captain Alexander. We have a couple of signatures today. Today, March 1st, it's open up to any team in NHL to sign. A couple of players was drafted before. So it's like an entry-level contract. So we have two players to mention to you. One's coming from the Montreal Canadiens, signed Gianni Fairbrother, the left defenseman, signed an entry-level contract. Usually those contracts is about 3 years, and we do not disclose the amount of money from him. So a good signature, the Fairbrother. And the Florida Panthers signed also Logan Alsco, another entry-level contract. So great to see, active the team. So they are very active to get their signature of the different players. Finally, before we move on, I want to mention to you a couple of players are on the injury list right now. And I just want to mention this one. Nico Echar got a puck in the face during the weekend. He is a day-to-day out for the game yesterday, honestly, because that was reported yesterday during the day. So Nico is a day-to-day. We have a few players. I don't have did any, graphic for you guys, but I can mention to you what's going on. First of all, a couple of news. Zarasenko for the St. Louis Blues. He should be back on the ice very soon. He's followed now. He's on the road trip with the Blues. Expect him to play at least some point during that trip. That's what head coach Greg Berube said during the press conference today. We don't know about Matthews tonight. Is a game decision. So we'll see if Aston Matthews is back in the lineup. It's 7 o'clock right now, p.m. I'm not sure what it will be his status at that moment. Same session with Anderson, but I don't think so. He's going to play tonight. And Campbell, it was another game decision about him. So I would not be surprised if Hutchinson is the goaltender between the pipe for the Maple Leaf tonight. Boston, we know already Jeremy Lauzon. Gretschik is out for a couple of weeks for Lauzon, and see what's happening with Matt Gretschik if he's going to join the team in the next couple of days. Calgary, we have Jacob Maxtron, did not play for the last couple of games for the Flames. He's on injury list, so we don't know if he's going to be back. I know tonight he's not starter, so it's a Rittich is a starter for the Flames. So play again the Ottawa Senator at that moment. Other injuries going on around the league. We heard a couple of good news for the Dallas Star. Radulov should be back very soon, maybe the next game, if not the second game of the week. Seguin, Dallas Seguin possibly be back in the lineup at the middle of April. That's a good news. Same thing for Ben Bishop. So good news from Dallas. Ruby Haynes should be back during the weeks also for the Dallas. So just a couple of news because they struggled the last, they lost the last 4 games during this round trip. Other news around the league. Tero Venin for the Carolina. Now he's on the concussion protocol list. So we don't know how long it will take. He's not played tonight, but it's possible he can miss a couple of weeks for sure. And Dallin Strom for the Chicago, possible he come back. If not during the week, maybe during the next weekend. So something we have to follow up definitely to see what it will be the case for him. The next thing, the couple of news around the league also. Rob Bredamo, head coach for the Carolina Hurricanes, he's close to have a long-term agreement contract to become, continuous is and extend his contract, honestly, extension contract. So it'll be interesting to see when the Carolina is going to announce this, but I would not be surprised if it could happen the last next week maximum. So that'd be good about that one over there. And that's make about everything around the league. Oh yeah, Derek Stephen for the Ottawa Senator could be missed a couple of weeks for sure after his injury, his arm last Monday night again in Montreal Canadiens. So 1 week ago. So expect him to be out for a couple of weeks for sure. So that's Jason Zucker for the Pittsburgh. Also, another one's going to miss at least 4 or 5 weeks. From that injury, a lot of talks right now for possible for the Pittsburgh Penguins about possibility for trade. Two more players to go for injury is the goaltender for the Buffalo Sabres, Linus Ullmark, is going to be out for a minimum of 4 weeks. And finally, the Washington Capitals did not play for the last 2-3 games with the center number 1, Kostanov. He is hurt on the upper body. We don't know yet his status, if he's going to be only day-to-day or maybe a little bit longer during the weeks. We'll see what happened about that one. So that's make about all the injuries going on Monday, March 1st, 2021. Now it's time to talk about here the trade bait we got today from TSN. Just want to mention this. I don't want to talk too much about rumor, how they're going to trade him at this team or this team, because at the end of the day, a lot of people does this, and I feel like it's waste time because it's just conversation with no go nowhere. Like example, Egg he heard 3 teams is looking for him right now. So he's going to Boston, he's going to Pittsburgh, he's going to Montreal. Talk about Montreal Chariot with a 2nd-round pick for him. So I don't like to mention one specific player versus where he's going to be, but that's the rumor we heard. The second one is David Savard for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The third one is Tony DeAngelo. We know the saga he got a couple of weeks ago is still not at home right now, do absolutely nothing, waiting. Brendan Montour is another one where he got hurt for a couple of weeks ago. Number 5, we have Taylor Hall, another one, have only 1 goal since the beginning of the year, have a very difficult year so far. Number 6, Mikael Granlund is another one, his name was mentioned in Boston. It could happen. Toronto is another possibility there too. Bobby Ryan is one of the couple of players Detroit should be trade at the deadline in the next couple of weeks. We'll see if it's what happened to him. He has only 1 contract at $1 million, so the salary is pretty good. Jake Verternen, he was mentioned a couple of days ago, maybe direction to Anaheim versus, N&M, so we'll see if it's happened. Sam Bennett, we know he requests a trade a couple of weeks ago. Since that, he played in the lineup every game for the Flames. Sometimes he go first line, third line. That's another one he's looking, maybe go somewhere else. Tanner Pearson, that's another one we did not hear a lot about him, but look like he is on the market for at that moment. Number 12 is Vince Dunn. This is a very good one because Dunn, he was a healthy scratch at the beginning of the year, have a really good season since that. He looked good. Now he's at the top 4, decent. They lost Gunnar Narson for the rest of the season, so maybe he have a full spot with Blues now. Maybe he's not going to be traded, but his name was mentioned a couple of times around the league. Eric Stahl, another veteran, 35 years old, 36 years old, center, big guy, have a good season with Minnesota. It could be go somewhere, a team maybe go to the playoff looking for a solidified or line, a center, like third line, something like that. I think he could be that kind of player, could be in demand for that. Max Stahl, his brother Max Stahl for the Detroit. This I don't believe it, because his salary is a problem. He's over $5 million. Not many people cannot, for the quality of what he give, for the fact he's good defensive, I don't see him to move nowhere. I'll be honest with you. I think for Detroit, it would be more Glenn Denning and not Stahl or Jonathan Burney could be more on the conversation for the trade. Finally, we have Ryan Digel. Another, he want to trade a couple of times so far, so it will be interesting if he's going to go somewhere else. So we'll see happen. So that's about what's going on about the list for the trade trade bait. We try to bring this every day to you guys. But before we leave, we just want to remind you, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also on the Facebook page under Hockey Nation Live Show. You can directly DM me also on my Twitter account on Coach Frenchy 10X. That's where you're going to talk with me. That's where we're going to talk about hockey. And of course, we mentioned to you every day, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. We have a daily show with my co-host, Michael David. I know tomorrow, Tuesday, we have the pleasure to have another co-host, Greg Minervini from the Florida Panthers. So we are always excited to have him. You can join us, talking to him, ask him questions about the Panthers or any other thing around the league. So Greg is always a great collaborator for the Hockey Nation Live Show. That's conclude, honestly, the show for today. And don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, don't only click, put on the comments, I subscribe. We're going to come back to you. And also, hey, we want you to talk about hockey. So don't hesitate to reach us talking about hockey, because that's what we love to do. And finally, what we love to do at the end of each recording, you hockey fans, whatever you are, hockey fans of the Panthers, Montreal, Toronto, whatever it is, and also Hockey Nation Live Show, remember, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, great evening, everybody. Don't forget 7 games in NHL on Monday night.